Dear friends, we have gathered here today to remember, to reconnect to those we loved and to those we lost on September 11th. The St. Nicholas National Shrine is grateful. It's grateful to welcome and embrace all of you, and is grateful to embrace all you and the roles and the traditions that you proudly display and observe. For this shrine, the resurrected and rebuilt house of God that once humbly graced Cedar Street and was destroyed on 9/11, this shrine is a place, and indeed, not just a place, but a palace of memory for all. Here in New York City, we also join with those praying and calling into their hearts those who perished at the Pentagon and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, for their heart and grief is also our own. But as we all know so well, the World Trade Center is ground zero, is the epicenter of the life-changing tragedy that inaugurated in the most painful and horrific way, inaugurated the 21st century. That is why we rebuilt St. Nicholas in the way we did it, and you can observe today. We did so as much to honor those who gave their lives that day trying to save others, as to summon into our minds and our hearts the lives that were lost as a result of that most cruel and inhuman attack. We may come from different traditions and different life experiences, but we all share a common love and a respect for the sanctity of human life. And what was taken from families, friends, and truly from the soul of our nation on 9/11 can never be replaced or superseded. But we can remember. We can renew our spiritual ties with those whose loss still creates a deep void in our hearts. We can reconnect in love to those we lost, like Anthula did, through prayer, through memory, through sharing stories and filling those blank pages on family albums with reminders of what was best in them. For what was best in them will always remain part of the best of us. As the only religious site in the new World Trade Center here, overlooking the memorial pools and the museum, we feel a special responsibility to welcome everyone and to invoke both within and without these walls all those whose lives were lost either on that fateful day or in the subsequent years, when their sacrifice of service to this place cost many their health and even their lives. It is the reason that we have included in the iconography of the shrine depictions of the history of that day. It is the reason why the words of Pericles of Athens, the man responsible for the rebuilding of the Parthenon, one of the most recognized shrines in the world, it is the reason that these words of this Pericles are incised into the stone on the front of this church when you enter. There is a reason that all the marbles of this shrine is from the same vein of stone that built the Parthenon 2,500 years ago. We repeat the words of this man, Pericles, for they gave their lives for the common weal, and in so doing won for themselves the praise which grows not old, and the most distinguished of all sepulchres, not that in which they lie buried, but that in which their glory survives in everlasting remembrance. My friends, that is why we come here every year on 9/11, and why we shall continue to do so. This is for everlasting memory, for eternal memory, αιωνία μνήμη, so that the world might never forget what happens when the most evil and hatred-filled act is faced with courage, with duty, with dignity, and above all, with love. I thank you all for your presence and for your witness here today. I express to you my own and the everlasting condolences of the Greek Orthodox people of America. And I commend each and every one of us to God's mercy and to God's love, so that we may always be worthy to remember every precious human life that was lost, so that they might be found in God, the God who will wipe away every tear from their eyes. May God grant us all comfort and healing through the pain, and the grace to hold our dear ones in mind and heart, so that we may remember them as they most justly deserve, remember them in honor and in gratitude for the lives they lived. Amen. May their memory be eternal. Να είναι η μνήμη τους αιωνία. Αμήν.